sport in particular is, it's very different to other parts of life because there's such an innate kind of instinctual element towards it. All cultures have a sport, and what I love personally about it so much is that, like, in life now, I'm able to push. It's more mental than it is physical. I'm able to every day push my mind to the limit, sharpen my ability and in a skill that has to do with my physical body, and just that you become so understanding of this body that kind of walks through the world, with your consciousness in it. I mean, in my life I've done a lot of sports. I've gone from horse riding, I've done team sports like football, kayaking, obviously kickboxing, stuff like that, kung fu, some martial arts, some racket sports as well. I just love all of them. I love trying new sports. The thing that inspired me to start kayaking was just, the surroundings here. I also was going to get that on film, but it's very peaceful, living in Amsterdam, seeing all these buildings and environment, your eyes actually become very calm when it's surrounded by a lot of green and vegetation. So mentally for my mind, it was just kind of like this area was a safe space outside of the city and this very hectic life that I had. My active lifestyle right now is, it's quite a lot. I'm training between 20 to 25 hours a week. My future goals would definitely be to stay in the sports industry. It's the most enjoyable part of my life. I've been a ski instructor. I hope to progress with that during the winters and maybe start my own type of education program in a sport like kayaking or kickboxing or skiing. I hope to stay in the industry. That's why I'm also now at university taking international sports management and business. I've come out from a few injuries, and obviously as an athlete, that's something that's really important to kind of think about, that your life can very much change depending on an injury. If I'm not going to compete, then obviously still being a coach or helping to teach, you don't necessarily need to be in peak physical performance to do that. And then also just taking economics and business kind of in relation to sports kind of is that backup plan for me. So training a lot, you have to, like in everything, you have to give up to get. So your diet is different from what you normally have to do. I have to eat more. I burn on average 3,500 to 4,000 calories a day, so I need to eat the same amount for that. I need to eat high quality stuff, so it costs a lot. And then also I tend to not drink and smoke because that'll affect my performance. So it reduces the amount of time that I can hang out with my friends, but I also have friends in the sports that I do. I think one of the things that people always want to get into sports for is not necessarily just developing a skill and developing kind of like that passion, but they do it for the health benefits, because our culture now is very anti our body, what it's naturally supposed to do, and sports is that kind of application of using that physical body or using your physical body for a healthy lifestyle. For me, I think it's more that it allows you to obviously burn calories, to stay fit, to understand your body as well. But I think also, there's a lot of studies been done on this where clinical psychologists use sports as a way to help with depression. For me personally, I've definitely have felt like when I stopped training as much that I just didn't feel as whole, and pushing myself is such a mental benefit over not just physical. The reason why I started to pursue kayaking was that I really love the feel of the water. I do other sports, obviously, like swimming. I've done scuba diving, stuff like that. When you kayak, you feel like you're kind of floating on the water, and then it's very repetitive, so you have to kind of go deep into your mind to push yourself to stay in the motion. And just the community around here, for me, is the reason why I kind of stuck to it. Advice for living an active lifestyle, I think, is you have to... Most people that I know as well, depending on what level of activity you want, is you need to be reasonable with yourself, and you cannot be active because training isn't necessarily fun. The outcome of training is fun and the effects of training is fun, but the in the moment training is never fun. I've never woken up, especially if I'm training hard, never woken up and gone, oh, I'd love to train today. But you can't train on feeling. You have to train with a plan. and you have to be disciplined. So creating a plan for yourself that is reasonable to work on, and also to find a goal that isn't numerical based, but a goal in the activity that you're doing itself. So instead of, if it's to get healthier and to be, to look better, it's, if you're running, it's to, how fast can I run a mile? How fast can I do a 10-kilometer run? Or, with kayaking, how fast can I get my paddle stroke up, or something like that. Learning, enjoying the progression of the skill and the activity that you're doing means you're more likely to stick to it. When it comes to competition, I tend to compete with myself, and obviously others. You can compete with others. In kayaking, there's a race, you line up against everything. But at the end of the day, if you don't win, for me, if I don't win, it's annoying, but it's more that I didn't push myself hard enough. If I push myself beyond my physical capabilities and beyond my mental capabilities in that moment, and I develop, and even if I'm last place, I'll be happy, because it's more about, can I progress for myself? So yeah, every day is a fight of always competing with who you were yesterday, always trying to improve. This is, the club's for about 80 people, but when I train, I'm normally the only one. Yeah, it's rough, but then you get to see what you've accomplished, and then it's kind of all worth it. Okay, let's get down to the training. That's what we're here for. I train twice a day, every day. I'll normally go to the gym. I'll check to see if anyone's nicked my kayak over there, but normally it's all good. And then I'll go and I'll warm up. I'll do a little bit of cycling, just lubricate the joints, do a bit of movement, and then go for a kayak, and then do a gym session after that. The inspiration that I had for kickboxing came from watching the sport, watching Glory and boxing. I thought boxing was very interesting, but it kind of annoyed me that there was nothing happening with the legs, and kickboxing just seemed kind of like the more all-round striking sport. And just watching people go to war with each other, and I think in every sport you have to kind of find yourself and bring out the most in yourself, but in kickboxing the pressure is so overwhelming, and your opponent is trying to hurt you enough that you're not able to compete anymore, that's just such fear that they still then fight is really inspirational. It's the wibble wobble squat. Kayaks are very unstable. You need to practice your balance, especially between the upper and lower body. Those don't count, those are half reps. Balancing is much harder in kayaking. There's no other sport that uses the same type of balance, not even rowing. If you're gonna start kickboxing, there's two routes. You can do it for a fitness aspect. If you go for a hard bag workout or something, you can burn up to 1,000 calories in an hour. It's very intensive. It's a very physical all-round sport. but then you can also do kind of, like the sparring and the actual fighting element, the sport itself. So depending on what you want to do. A fighting sport like kickboxing has a lot of benefits, I think, for the day-to-day life. Sports in general makes you more confident because you understand your body more, and through physical feats you learn to, be proud of yourself and you understand who you are. But fighting sports are more than that because you then don't have fear for other people, or, if there's a big scary person who's talking to you, there's no fear because you know that you have the skill set to protect yourself.